Dawn, I just watched The Sopranos, all of it, in one sitting. One singular sitting. I watched all of it.
You did what?
Okay, no, that's a little bit of a lie. I watched The Sopranos over the course of several months. The hit TV show. Haven't you heard of The Sopranos?
Oh, The Sopranos? Oh, let me pretend to be a dumbass for 2 seconds. Tell me about The Sopranos.
Well, Dawn, if you didn't know, The Sopranos is a show that ran from 1999 to 2007. Had like 80-something episodes. It was very influential. It basically it revived television, a long-form drama. It was very, very important and is so well regarded that even the ending alone is well known by everyone who hasn't even seen the show.
That is correct. That is the one thing I know about it. Other than the theme song where he goes, "Woke up this morning,
got yourself a gun."
Yeah, I like that. I like that. But yeah, tell me about it. How did you feel about it? What did Tony Soprano do to you?
He infuriated me. Mostly.
Oh,
do you know much about like the plot of Sopranos? Like, do you watch much of it ever?
No, actually, I had plans to watch it myself at some point, but from the basis that I do know, it's like he's. Is he trying to reform? Is he trying to get out of the family?
No,
or
so
figure out what's going on?
The cool thing about Sopranos is it is about, a mafia boss in New Jersey. And what he basically has a lot of problems with is he always talks about how he kind of came into the game too late. Like, it feels like he showed up to the party and it was like almost done.
He came into the game too late?
Like, he was raised in the culture, but by the time he, grew up and was the, head of the family, like, all the good times and the good fortunes and, like, the good luck had basically run out. Like, everyone before him got it good. And now he's, like, struggling, like, they lose guys really easily, there's not as much, like, respect and tradition, and he just feels like he jumped on the train too late. So he goes to see a therapist because he starts having these debilitating panic attacks, essentially, where he passes out and like injures himself a lot. So he's talking to the therapist. Her name is Dr. Melfi. She's a great character, and a lot of it is just, he'll talk about his life, his upbringing and stuff as, he's doing his own thing, but he has to be, careful with how he talks about it, because obviously he can't just talk about his criminal activities.
I'd imagine that would be like a conflict of interest, if you will.
Yeah, she would
maybe
have to tell
even
someone.
Yeah, she would have to say something. That's a shame.
But yeah, Tony's got his own like band of guys. He becomes the boss kind of a little bit early on in the series, and it just kind of goes. He goes through a lot during the whole series. You meet a lot of different like characters who are close and important to him. So it's
right, like Pinky Steve.
Yeah, it's Pinky. He's got Paulie,
Pinky Steve,
and Syl, and Christopher.
Yeah,
and is there's a lot of really great moments. It's very, I don't know. There's a lot of subtlety to it as well. They don't really, these characters, like, they're objectively criminals, right? Like, they're awful.
Yeah.
They say awful things. They do awful things. They're hypocrites. They're narcissists. Tony is like a pig, like a total pig about women. And in some ways, it's like very obvious. In other ways, it's like, why does this keep happening, Tony? Why do you keep letting this happen? And you kind of hate him, but you also like, I don't want him to die, I guess. Like,
so is this like the start of that like anti-hero era? Like it's Sopranos and Mad Men and Breaking Bad, and like those guys.
I would definitely say yes. It's complicated because when you watch Tony Soprano do his thing, you just kind of want to like grab him by the shoulders constantly and like shake him, because even in like his own like criminal empire and such, his issues with like anger, he has like angry outbursts all the time, and he like acts irrationally a lot of the time because of that, and he can't control his emotions and his temper and his like feelings about certain things, so he acts without thinking a lot. So on the outside, sometimes he looks like this cool calculating like mob boss. And other times you're looking at it from behind the scenes and you're like, Tony is thinking with his dick most of the time, or his ego.
Wow, okay.
He makes very rash decisions on just a whim because he feels like he's been insulted, or he's like super petty. And to me, like, I look at a character like that and I think, what a sad man. You know, what a sad, pathetic man.
Yeah.
He has no control of himself. He acts like he can't control his infidelity all the time. His poor wife, Carmela, you know, is always like, I know you've been with other women. I'm not stupid. Stop doing that. And he acts like, when he talks to his therapist, he acts as if he's like a victim of circumstance a lot of the time. He's like, oh, you know, but she, you know, then there was, what am I supposed to do? Is this beautiful girl, you know, like, I can't, like, yada, 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 you know, I need my fun too. And, you know, my issues with my mother. And, you know, he starts to, you know, use therapy speak almost to, like, excuse
That's
himself.
a little fun. I have to be so honest. That's a little funny.
Well, it is. I mean,
and it's
funny.
very, like, modern in the way that happens. Because it's like, people do doing that right now, and I think some of them are even worse than Tony Soprano.
Probably.
Yeah, so that's crazy. Very, very much a prediction of the times we are in now.
The one big criticism I have for this show, in that it is not great in terms of its representation of, like, other cultures or races. It is...
I mean,
like, I'll be honest, it's pretty racist against black people, like, just in general.
I can't. What show wasn't?
I mean, fair enough, but still, it's like, there is maybe one or two major black characters. They do not make much of an appearance at all. They, you know, have good scenes. They are good characters, but they don't, like, after a while, like, you see them for, like, one or two episodes, and then you never see them again for the series, and then 99.9% of the other black characters are like the thug, you know, stereotype, like, just, oh, we're in a bad neighborhood, it's the drug dealer guy, you know, there he is, and that's it. And same with, like, literally every other race, basically.
You know what it is, though? This is the thing about the earlier shows, like the early 2000 shows. I would not go to The Sopranos and say, hey, where are the guys that look like me?
Right.
You know, like, it's not the place I would go. If I wanted a show with the same premise, which is just like the mafia, the gang stuff, and all that stuff, I would just watch The Wire. There is a show for me that looks exactly like that. So I'm good. I don't need The Sopranos to be killing black people on screen. I'm fine. I know how many people die in The Sopranos.
Oh, a lot of, like, every other character dies.
Yeah.
There's actually, when I was watching it, not to give too much away, I guess, I'll just say this. If you care about Sopranos spoilers, that I'll just stop watching now. I had a good time watching it. It's very engaging, fun, yada yada. Okay, leave, go out the door. At the beginning of the show, you know, they sit outside this deli a lot. And you see, like, Tony and his, like, few guys, close guys he's got. And he's got Christopher, who's basically like his protege. And by the end of the series, I kind of had a little bit of a laugh, and I don't know how intentional it was or not. I imagine it was, but one of the last shots in the show before the, like, infamous ending, Tony's sitting outside that deli with one guy, one singular guy. And
was it Finger Steve?
It's Paulie. He's sitting out with Paulie.
Paulie.
He talks to him.
Paulie.
Then he gets up and he leaves, and it's Paulie sitting there alone at this table that, like, throughout the series, as I imagine that same table, you know, filled with all these characters who are all pretty much dead or at the hospital or, like, in a coma or something. So it's, I don't know, it's like a lot of the characters die, a lot of important characters die. Death is treated very, I don't know, people just will die at the drop of a hat. You'll have
casually
a very established character, you know, who has a big part of the story, connections to a lot of the characters, and it'll be as simple as someone pulls out a gun and shoots them dead, and they're gone. Boom, done.
Yeah.
It's scary.
I would say it's weird that The Sopranos treats life and death more casually than real life does.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's on the
scary to me.
The criminal scene, I guess, but it's very, every time it happens, it's still like, God dang, like, he's
Like, dude, we were just having a conversation. What? Don't pull the fucking gun.
Oh yeah,
Polly, what's going on?
Polly, put it down.
It's like, oh my god. I'm quoting a Stitch, but anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, so I definitely, if you have the time, there are a lot of episodes. They're all like 40 to 50 minutes long too. So it's like watching 80 movies in one go.
Oh, gee. You know, I was working on Columbo, so it's kind of the same thing. Yeah, okay.
It's on Max, I think, is where I watched it. I don't remember. I'm not, who cares?
Wait, excuse me, HBO Max?
Yeah, sorry, it's HBO Max now again.
Yes, everybody remember, HBO Max now. Okay, yeah. Like I said, I had been planning to watch it. I don't have access to that, so I might pick it up sometime, eventually. Maybe I'll get the DVD box set.
Yeah, I've definitely been late to this party. I watched maybe like bits of it as a kid when my parents had it on, but this was my first time just sitting down and watching it. I watched it with my girlfriend who had seen it before, but it had been a while since she had seen it, so she only remembered like a few plot beats, and so it was like watching it for the first time with her, and that was fun. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that
Find a friend
nice.
to watch it with. That's my endorsement. Bye.
Oh, bye.